I remember everyone that I used to hang out with, even though I stopped hanging out with them when I was a kid. Like Ty Tableski used to live next door to us when I was growing up and shit. And Frankie McManus, remember the McManuses?
Oh, yeah.
Frankie McManus was one of those. We were in one of those friend triangles where, like, I hung out with Ty, but he would sometimes hang out with Ty, so him and I weren't friends.
Is he talking about Little Mac?
No, he was the younger one. This is Big Mac.
Big Mac? You saying about Big Mac?
When I was a kid.
Wow.
Big Mac fucking knocked my tooth out with a plastic rake when I was a kid. We were playing around in the yard and shit, and he swung this plastic rake at me, knocked it out, it went down my throat, and I swallowed it. And I was all wigged out, I guess, as a child would be and shit, but I was more wigged out because it hurt like fuck. But also, I was just like, I won't get the money from the tooth fairy. And my parents were such good parents.
Or will I?
Yeah, so they took care of it. Grace and Don were just like, I mean, I don't know what goes through their head, because if my kid swallowed a tooth and was like, but I need that for the tooth fairy, I'm like, the tooth fairy will find it. She'll pick through the sewage and shit like that.
She's a sister that lives in the septic.
Yeah, the shit fairy. But my parents somehow fucking like, They did it. They waited till I took a shit, took the shit, combed through it, and pulled the tooth out.
No.
I swear to God, they did. And then, cleaned it up, washed it off and shit, and then gave it to me to put under my pillow.
How many days later?
Like within 24 hours, it goes through your system. You can't digest a tooth. I swear to Christ, that's a true story. You could ask Grace, and she'll probably be like, oh, yeah, he was a real lunatic about that tooth. Yeah.
You watched him or you didn't see him do it?
They watched me because they were watching me 24 hours waiting for me to shit. Like watching me like he's on a 24-hour watch.
Did you actually see them start to mash it up and look for it?
I saw them I remember being on it. I swear to God, it was weird. I guess in retrospect,
this is insanity.
In retrospect, I guess it's kind of weird, but at the time it seemed very natural. But they waited for me to go to the bathroom, and then my mom was like, "Go ahead, get up." And then I remember she fished the floater out of the bowl, and I didn't. I must have, because I was a child, and there's an adult handling a 5. She's an adult handling poo, and kids are so poo-centric. I must have watched. I must have been like, this is awesome.
That says something you wouldn't forget.
You would think, but I don't know. I was more hell-bent on getting the tooth back than anything else. But
sure
I must have watched.
Told you it was another tooth? Another tooth that they had saved from a previous tooth that had fallen out?
Sounds like, Grace, take a shot of this brand.
You got to give up one of the teeth for the crybaby fat boy.
I'm not coming through turds.
I guess I never thought of that. I guess maybe they had another tooth of mine that they were like, yeah, we pulled this from your shit.
I would bet a lot of cash that nobody would fuck. If they had a tooth for a previous tooth, that they would just use that one rather than fucking...
Then do it.
Break up fecal matter.
You know, we can find out right now. Let me call my mom. So I called my mother. I said, do you remember digging through my shit and pulling a tooth out to clean it up, give it to me, because I was wigged out about the tooth fairy not being able to put my tooth under my pillow? And she goes, you would have to ask your brother. He might remember better than me. Which I thought was really weird, because my brother wasn't there. It's not like, he was in the house, but I don't know if he would remember. Unless my mother was going, look, your brother's gay, he likes ass, and things that come out of ass. Maybe he would know better than me.
Well, how much older?
My brother? Where she's like your brother's really upset.
Yeah, go find that tooth.
She was the one that made my brother gay. She's like, you dig through that pile of stool. You find that fucking tooth for your brother, because he's crying, he's upset, he's your baby brother. And my brother's like digging through my fucking crap. And he's just like,
Mom, I'm liking this.
This ain't bad. Yeah, and so I said, Walter posed the theory that you might have saved, since you had my teeth saved, other teeth that had fallen out naturally and not gotten knocked out with a plastic rake, that you would have saved it and just said, oh, we got this from your poo. And she goes, I like that better. She'd rather than be known as the fucking fecal freak parents. Because my mom gets real uptight when I talk about my past. Because she doesn't, my mother's a sense of humor and mine just don't connect whatsoever.
Well, she remember things differently too.
She remembers things differently. Like I tell a story about, and I think I have told it on SModcast, where we went around with my my brother and sister, and my parents were driving around Rumson. I think I told it with you.
Yeah, you told it.
And we went garbage picking one night. We didn't know that's what it
Which sounds so tame compared to her digging through crap at this point.
I like garbage picking, that visual.
Totally. We were driving around. Totally. We were driving around Rumson. in this big old Ford and shit, and people had put out, you know, their toys. It must have been post-Christmas because it was like people getting rid of old shit because they got new shit. And my parents would just pull up next to these garbage cans in Rumson, and they weren't like garbage cans where it's like coffee grounds, fucking used rubbers, and a fucking Weeble. You know, it was like it was like boxes of toys sitting on the lawn.
Dumping spoiled mayonnaise.
Yeah, they're like, let's see if those fucking hobos take it. But we pull up and we would go through and grab shit. Like I got like a Weeble treehouse from that, and I got like a few Mego dolls and shit that were missing parts, like a Human Torch with just the head and no flame suit. So it was like a regular naked body with underwear and a Human Torch head. But to me, that was like a fantastic memory. Like what a great day that was when we just went and getting toys for free. But that night, it never occurred to me like this is kind of weird. We're literally garbage picking because I didn't have a frame of reference for it. But we were doing it for such a prolonged period of time. This was over the course of an hour in Rumson, just like circling houses creepily, looking for trash. That people pass us like a carload of teens, and as they pass us, they rolled the window down. And I just remember this female voice screaming out, "Garbage pickers!" So I tell that story like I told it at the Q&A.
Scourge of Rumson.
Total scourge of Rumson. Told it at the Q&A and the birthday Q&A, and I guess afterwards, Asbury Park Press, Mark Voger ran a piece about some of the things, summarizing some of the things I talked about at the Q&A. And he talked about that, and my mother heard about it from somebody. Somebody called her up because she wasn't here when the paper came out. She was down in Florida. And somebody called her up and was just like, "Oh, did you know that Kevin told a story about how the only toys you ever gave him, you picked out of a garbage?" And my mother was mad at me and wouldn't talk to me. She got mad at me when I told the story on Leno about how we went around Disney World, went our first vacation there, and we were essentially shoplifting. Like my parents were like, "Take that stuff outside. We'll send a check later."
Family were a ring.
We were. But she gets tight about that, and I'm just like, Ma, I told them with a sense of humor and fucking, you know, I'm sure most people are like, that doesn't even sound true, but scarily it is true. Yeah, well, it's like I fucking refuse to believe that your mother digged through. Your mother changes your diapers, man. Why wouldn't she? She's not like afraid of your shit. It's not like kryptonite to her.
There is no need to dig through crap when you can you could just tell a 5-year-old anything.
Yeah, maybe they weren't. No, but a 5-year-old wants proof. A 5-year-old wants to hold the tooth. It's not like Santa where you buy it because you've never seen him. Like I've seen my teeth. I've had other teeth come out. So where's that tooth?
All you need is the quarter under your pillow, and that's all that you would not have questioned it any further.
No, because then it starts breaking down the tooth fairy myth. If you're not, tooth fairy myth is something for something. I put my tooth under my pillow. You put the money under the pillow while I'm sleeping.
If you believe there's a fairy that's going to come and give you a quarter, you'll believe that a fairy can find it in the toilet.
I disagree, but the fairy you never see, so you buy that on childlike faith. But your tooth, which you know is going to come out of you because whatever goes into you comes out, you want proof of that tooth. So
it's magic. I mean, fairies
my parents weren't that fucking creative, Walt. I don't know what to tell you. Like, my mom was like, it'd be much easier to just dig through his fucking shit and find a tooth.
Well, there again.
And maybe they weren't sentimental. Maybe she didn't save my teeth. Like, you know, maybe she was just like, ew, throw it out when it's all done. Like, after they gave me the tooth fairy money.
Do you have your girl's teeth?
I'm not sure if my wife saved the teeth.
See, you don't know. Like, you don't even do it. Like, maybe that was my mom was just like, it's my job to be the tooth fairy, but I fucking throw the teeth out. If
my daughter swallowed my wife's wedding ring,
I was just about to say
it would go. I would not dig through it for a wedding.
Oh, you're out of your fucking mind.
I don't think my wife would either.
You're out of your mind if you think that's the case. You don't think your wife...
out of your mind. I'm telling you the truth.
You think... Yeah, maybe Don might know. You think if you're...
If one
of you... Yeah, Don, we're setting up a fourth mic for SModcast. Can you debunk these myths for us? He's like, I don't know. Did you say that I'm gay because I dug through your shit? I want you to stop talking about me. Do you think... is your wife still awake? You want to call her?
I am not going to even go there with that.
She's like,
that's
why are you
too fucking
There's just dead silence. She's like, why are you asking, Walt?
I'm going to do this recording for Kevin. She has no idea. If I call her and told her, would we dig through shit for your wedding ring? I don't think that she would be...
You don't have one of those marriages?
No.
My wife, I think, expects a call like that. I'm like, if you swallowed a ring, if a kid swallowed a ring, my wife would totally fucking dig through the shit to get her ring back.
How much is her ring?
It doesn't matter. I mean, it's sentimental value alone. It was an expensive ring, but sentimental value alone, she would not want to let it go, especially when it's easily gotten. It's not like, you know, fucking...
I don't know if that's easy.
Like picking through the garbage. I mean, no,
are you really like that? But yeah, I'm sorry. That was really offensive. I mean, are you really that fucking... Are you really like that hung up on shit that you would not...
Yeah, I just don't think
Especially little kid shit. Did you ever change a kid's diapers?
Yeah, a baby, it's just not the same as one that just, when someone is able to leave it in the toilet, it becomes totally different than when you're in
You pick it out with tongs and then you like do little like.
Who's ever going to wear that ring again? Your wife would wear that ring again?
Oh, like you can't wash it off? You steam it. You put it in a sonic cleaner at the jewelry store.
You'll always, even though you can't smell it and that odor is gone, you'll always think you'll smell it.
It's a fucking great, like, a party story where, like, one time the kid ate the ring and fucking, this is it. And we had to dig it out of the shit, and people were like, does it smell? You know, you kill 5 minutes at a party with a story like that.
I wonder if Edgar swallowed his own ring if my mom would dig it out for us.
Right out of his ass. She wouldn't wait for it to come out and shit. She's up his ass with a flashlight like he's got a tapeworm or something.